Thanks for having us. We've been at a couple of these shows, and you may or may not have seen us before, I don't know. But we kind of felt like we got a little bit off on the wrong foot on some of the previous FinDEVrs and Finovates and other things. So what we wanted to do was come back and show you really how our platform actually works and what we call the COIN transaction service. So we're going to spend 15 minutes here today actually showing you the COIN. Yeah, trying to make the theme work. I get it. So that's the COIN. Very nice. Very, very nice, Aaron. Thank you. He also goes by Aaron. So the COIN is kind of our patented, thanks. No, seriously, it didn't work last time. It doesn't work this time. Is our patented way of being able to connect ledgers. So we talk a lot about ledgers and payments. We talk a lot about distributed ledgers sometimes now. And what we've done is we've built a transaction platform that allows you to connect different ledgers from different systems that don't actually have to be integrated with one another in order to be able to move money between them. It can get a little dense here, though, because we have an awful lot of different use cases that we're providing services for. And so the idea that we want to walk you through is, okay, exactly how does this COIN transaction enable us to take money kind of from any source, send it to any destination, and then make that money movement available through an open RESTful API so that you can come up with the brilliant new digital payments experience that you're interested in. Almost all, I think, of the new digital payments experiences that you're familiar with and you're excited about and that people are actually using, in some sense, don't just move money from point A to point B. They move multiple sources of value to sometimes one or more destinations for value. And we think it's that combination of value from different systems that actually makes Starbucks and Uber and PayPal, if you were playing Buzzword Bingo, hopefully I helped you out, that much more interesting. So we see this as sort of fundamental underlying technology. We're kind of plumbers, geeks, we like geeks, who are going to help you make the trains run on time between these different systems. So probably the best thing we can possibly do is just get right into some examples. So we're going to show you 3 different coins today. Let's start off with this first one. You're actually going to be watching on Postman as Aaron, in fact, makes calls to our pre-production system for live transaction services that we, in fact, perform today. The first one is taking funds from a real-time lending platform, an alternative lending platform that's used in the digital checkout space. And their challenge was, well, how do I get involved with more checkouts than I've performed integrations for? So what if I want my checkout platform to do a checkout for a merchant who isn't integrated? So what we did was we helped them generate virtual cards, happens to be on the MasterCard platform, MasterCard network, I should say, through 2 different virtual card issuers that can be used at any merchant that accepts MasterCards to check out. So where are we at? Did you mint? So mint is the first stage of a coin. And there's going to be a lot of analogies to a real life cycle of a coin. And then operate is the second stage. So the first one, as it might sound like, kind of sets things up. We'll talk more about what it sets up in just a moment. And then operate is what puts it in motion. Okay, so let's go look at those were the transactions. I know there was no big gasp or intake of breath. So let's help build this out a little bit more. What you're seeing here is the actual life cycle that just went through. You can see up at the top there, it's a little bit small, but it says certified. That was one of the life cycles that it went through. So it started with pressed, then it went through stamped, then it was circulated, and then it hit certified. And that means money movement has occurred. We verified that the funds all got where they were supposed to go. And effectively what we've done is we've taken money from the lending platform, we've put it in a virtual card. The virtual card was used to check out at a merchant site, and that merchant site has said, yep, I've captured that card, and now funds have settled. So obviously we're simulating that. We've got a whole bunch of other sandbox systems from our partners at Klarna and Marqeta and PPS that are in fact providing the responses that you can see here. Okay, so we've got 3 different ledgers. We have the lending platform, we have the virtual card, and we have the merchant. Let's move on to another one and show you the next transaction or the next coin that we want to talk about. This one is all about how to use loyalty points in real time at the point of sale. Bit of a tricky problem. In particular, how do we make sure that the merchant and the consumer and the different systems that are involved stay in sync? How do we keep those ledgers locked together? So once again, you're watching, in this case, the mint call, yes? Did I catch you on it? Yep, okay. So that was the call that said, okay, I've got this source, which is loyalty points. I got this destination, which is a push-to-card transaction. We're actually going to put it back on the person's credit card. And then there's the operate call. Okay, so we're kind of flying by. We'll happen to spend more time with you on that. He just refreshed our portal to show you. Now I have different ledgers that represent 4 different sources and destinations for value. So the first 2 is the actual loyalty account associated with this card. It's on one platform. The second one is the settlement account to which those funds actually settle over time. And that's kind of a fun one. Some of these loyalty platforms actually take 30 days to do that first step, which is a little painful. The next one is an escrow. It's pre-funding for push-to-card transactions, which is how many of those work. Our partners at Ingo Money, that's how they work. And then the last one is the ledger associated with the actual card itself that we're pushing to cards. So consumers don't understand this. You all understand this, right? If I'm talking about a single credit card and it's got a loyalty balance and a credit account balance, those are not the same thing. In fact, they're not on the same platforms. They're often being managed by 2 completely different vendors. So getting money from the consumer's perspective really easy on the loyalty side of my account to the credit balance side of my account, in reality actually has 4 different ledgers that are involved. The first being their account. The second 2 are sort of interstitial settlement accounts that we need to be able to flow the money through. The interesting thing about the coin and the way this works is each one of those ledgers can actually settle our process completely differently. In fact, they often do. Okay, so if this is like basically every other presentation we've ever done, there's kind of a so what thing going on at the moment in your minds. So what we want to do is, in the spirit of Stephen Colbert, kind of make this a little livelier, a little truthier. So we put together kind of a nonsensical user experience, and we want a little audience participation. So what we thought is we'd ask for a couple of volunteers, one who's got a PayPal account, and another who's, well, basically just willing to get some money. So I'm going to let Aaron find some volunteers that are willing to do that. And then once he's got that all worked out, please choose carefully, because if you don't choose the right people, the demo doesn't work. Once we get that all kind of set up, we're actually going to walk you through this experience, which again doesn't necessarily make any sense, of taking value from a loyalty account, could be associated with credit or debit card, actually could be a merchant loyalty account, it doesn't particularly matter. We're going to move those funds to a PayPal account, just for grins, precisely because those 2 things don't talk to each other and generally don't in most people's experience. And then we're going to take funds from the PayPal account and turn that into we're going to turn that into whatever our last contestant wants to receive. We're going to give them the choice to say, okay, you got 3 different money out options. How would you like to take it? And then we're going to show you how the coin keeps all of those transactions and flows in place. All right. So step 1 is Aaron's going to take this card associated with the scorecard loyalty platform from FIS, and he's going to register the card, and he's going to then get ready to send some funds. Okay, so just to prove that we're doing this sort of live and in color, can you give me, just shout something out, a number between 1 and 10? 9, I heard a 9, thank you. Now, you're getting the hang of this, a number between 0 and 99. You can pick anything. 32, that was a wonderful number. It's an excellent number. Okay, so 932, and in order to get the funds over to Scott, we're going to need Scott's email address, because that's one of the identifiers that PayPal uses. So hopefully Scott just shared that with Aaron. And demo excitement. This has worked 3 out of the last 7 times we've tried it, so hopefully you're with us. Some of you I know aren't. You kind of want to watch it go, but that's okay. We love you too. Okay, so here we got the PayPal account, and Scott, we had, what was the number?
932.
932. So we're watching this balance. Go ahead and refresh, and let's see if we see something change. Anybody do that math really quick in their head? That was $9.32. Yay! Okay. So that was the first step. We just took loyalty points and we flowed them through to a PayPal account. Obviously, settlement is going to happen sort of behind the scenes, and these 2 lovely consumers have no idea. So the next step of the process is, as I promised, let's get some funds from this PayPal account over to, well, whatever Eric decides he wants. So first step in the process will be, Scott, why don't you ask our friend Eric for some information about his email address. Now, it seems like there's a problem there. Now, Eric is not interested in that. I think something happened in Vegas last time they were there, so that could be a problem. So instead, we're not going to do that. We will do something else, which, of course, you knew was going to happen. We're going to send it to Eric without Eric actually sharing any personal information whatsoever. So not only are we abstracting the payments credentials, we're now actually going to abstract personal information. So again, same deal. Let's pick a different range, 10 and 15, a number between 10 and 15. 11, perfect. And now we need a number between 50 and 100. 62? 60-something, perfect. Okay, so now we have Scott, who's going to generate a QR code. Could be kind of anything that we can actually embed hash information in and be able to associate this securely with a pointer towards the coin, right? So what we've done is we've minted a coin transaction, we validated that Scott has available funds, and now what we're going to do is see if Eric can pick up that hash, identify and authenticate himself. Yeah, absolutely. That was the number, right? We said 1162, didn't we? Isn't that correct? Awesome. Okay, now Eric is going to get to choose. Does he want a PayPal transaction, a push to card, this is the moment of truth, or would he like what's behind door number 3, a Hot Topic gift card? I think I know what he's going to choose, because otherwise our demo will break. And so he chooses a Hot Topic gift card. Honestly, this demo was a little more compelling when Lindy did this part, but we'll come back to that some other time. We'll talk about that back at the office. So now we've just generated a gift card using our friends at Incom's platform that does that very, very wonderfully. Okay, so a little bit nonsensical, right? The user experience was just something we were throwing together. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And now what? If we go back to the laptop, please. What Aaron's going to do is show you those 2 coins, those 2 coin transactions, and the ledgers that were involved in making those funds move. And are those what are up? Yes, okay. So the first one is the loyalty account associated with the card, right? The second one is the settlement account that those loyalty redemptions flow into. The third one is a master account inside PayPal. And this gets a little funny, but if you think of PayPal almost like as a currency, that's a Nostro account. So that's funds that are being held by the operator of this in order to be able to do the cool stuff where it just shows up magically in real time, and then we go settle everything back later. So very, very old concept, Nostro and Vostro, but very relevant in terms of making things like this work properly. And then the last one's the actual PayPal account that we were delivering to. The last one of the day is moving money from the PayPal account. And again, that mode of ingress and egress through the network is that master account. Again, you can think of it as a Nostro or Vostro account. And then the final thing was the escrow that we used to represent the gift that ultimately became the gift card. So we can connect just about any payment system. And in fact, the people that we're interested in talking to are people in general that have payment systems, and the people that are trying to come up with new digital payments experiences that need access to payment systems, but don't necessarily want to bog down some beautiful experience that you're creating with the weight of things like PCI and the security on payments credentials and managing non-public information and personal information and things like that. Those are all the things that we're going to handle for you at Modo. There's a couple of components to the platform. There's obviously the transaction service, which we spent a lot of time showing you here today. There's the API, which sort of flashed past on the screen briefly, and be happy to tell you more about that. In fact, if you happen to be going to that other show this weekend in Vegas, we're sponsoring the hackathon for the 3rd year in a row at Money 2020, and we're always delighted with the things that the developers come up with at the hackathon there. But behind the scenes, there's actually a secure storage facility, a vault facility that allows us to be able to make that comment to you that we can actually hold these secure credentials on your behalf. We have PCI Level 1, PCI Level 2. We've been audited by some of the largest banks and financial institutions in the world. We'd love to talk to you about what we can get connected for you and what kind of new digital payments experience you're looking to bring to market. We're Modo Payments. Thank you very much for your time and for playing along. We'll look forward to chatting with you later. Take care.